fucking whatever you got on that shit.
Champ of the World. Shout out to TD Sports. TD Sports. Let's go, champ. What's good, YouTube? What is good? I got something to tell y'all real quick before we start off. Y'all not going to believe me. You're not going to believe me because I never really talk about these things on my channel. But it happened this week. And whatchamacallit, a couple of days ago, I'm just going to let you know. I got my hair done 2 days ago. That's all I want to let y'all know. I don't know, y'all maybe not care, maybe you do care, but I want you to know that I got my hair done 2 days ago.
The knockdown, what happened?
I just got my hair done 2 days ago, and she put grease in my shit, so the shit was like, you know, like when you sweating and things like that, and the grease come in my face, it burnt my eyes type shit. Damn, why y'all booing like I'm saying bullshit? Like, this is real facts. Come on, man. I just got my hair done 2 days ago.
Swing the wheel, it's gone.
I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. And she put grease in my shit. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. And she put grease in my shit. I just got my hair done. 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 Why y'all booing like I'm saying bullshit? Like, this is real facts. Like, this is real facts. Why y'all booing like I'm saying bullshit? Like, this is real facts. It burnt my eyes. Like, this is real facts. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done 2 days ago.
Yo. Yo, I just got my hair done 2 days ago. What is good? Hope everybody is doing well on this Sunday, March the 2nd. This year is going by so fast. We're already in March, second day of March, 2025, Sunday afternoon, close to Sunday evening. Hope everybody is doing well. Shout out to everybody in the chat that came through today. We got a few things I want to talk about. I don't want to be on too long. My co-hosts are running a little bit late, so I'm going to just lead off and be Ricky Henderson for today and bat up lead off. So shout out to my man, Daniel Berry, Sports Highlights. Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. My man, Frontline. Que lo que? My man, Frontline is in the building. What's good, bro? Salute to you. The Jab Jamboree. What is good? My man, Act. Salute to you, bro. Happy birthday. Yesterday was his birthday. Big shout out to my man, the Jab Jamboree. Harlem is in the building. Frontline over here saying, I guess he's the knee male champion now. Listen, man, we're going to talk about a little something. Shout out to my man, Gregory Pratt. What is good with you? Salute to you. Thanks for coming through. Frontline again. What he wanted to say is, I got that video. Hey, yo, whoa, hey, yo. Hey, shout out to man, DP Rocker. What's good with you? What's good? Salute, bro. Hope all is well. Salute to everybody that comes through, anybody watching. But yeah, man, a bunch of things I want to talk about. And obviously, everybody's talking about it right now. This is the hottest topic right now because, you know, one of the biggest names in boxing, one of the biggest names, People say that he's the face of boxing. Tank Davis didn't have a great performance last night. And we're going to talk about it. There's a few things I want to talk about in particular. I know we're going to talk about the performance. Shout out to Lamont Roach. I thought he fought excellently. I thought he did very well, and I thought he won the fight. I thought he should have gotten the decision, and he didn't get the decision. Now in boxing, shout out to you, Eric Jordan. Salute to you, bro. Thanks for coming through. In boxing, right, we see robberies, and sometimes as fans, when we watch the sport, a close decision, like, oh, this guy got robbed. But close decisions are not robberies. It can go either way. You got swing rounds in there that could go either way. So last night, was it a robbery or was it a different type of robbery, right? So as far as the scorecards are concerned, they scored a majority draw. Two judges had it 114-114, and one judge had it for Tank 115-113. So two judges had it 6 rounds apiece, comparison to one that had it 7 rounds to 5. But that's not a robbery. That was a close fight, right? But what I want to say that was a robbery was the obvious knee, the blatant knee, or the Chris Webber timeout. If anybody know Chris Webber, and remember back in Michigan in the championship game against North Carolina, the timeout, they got the technical. Not sure if you guys remember that. Some of you may be too young to remember Chris Webber, but and they got a technical, and Michigan lost that game. He took a timeout. He took a knee. He took a break in the action. There is no timeouts in boxing. There's no crying in baseball, and there's no timeouts in boxing, right? And Steve Willis, who is one of the best referees, at least on the East Coast. But for a while now, if you watch my channel, if you watch me, I've been complaining about Steve Willis. He has not been as great as, we may think he is. He's dropped the ball a few times. And sort of the same situation last night. I'll go back to when my boy was fighting Kalen Walsh back in November of 2023. And my boy Ishmael Villarreal hit Kalen Walsh to the body a couple of times, and Kalen Walsh kind of like not bent down, but kind of leaned over, and his gloves touched the floor. That should have been scored a knockdown, and we were yelling at him and everything. He was like, no. And it happened more than once. It was late in like the 8th or 9th round. And, Steve Willis just had a bad night. And that was a determining factor in the fight, because that fight was close, and a few weeks ago, it was a heavyweight match with Skylar Lacey against, I think, Delvin Moore or something more. And they were having a wrestling match in the ring. And Steve Willis had no control of that. Eventually, he stopped the fight after he threw the guy outside the ring. I think he deducted like 2 points before that. I mean, he was terrible in that fight. Terrible. Now fast forward to last night. And, he started counting 1, 2, and then Tank goes to the corner, gets the coach to rub his eyes with a towel, and everybody obviously is like, what is happening here? And they have a conversation between Willis and Tank, like, oh, don't do this again. You can't do that. There should have been a point deducted, right? There should have been a point deducted either for the knockdown or for going to the corner and just, getting outside, putting his head outside the ring to his cornerman. That was a disgrace, bro. Brandon Moore, thank you, K-Rod. Thank you. Shout out to my man Eric Jordan in a super chat. Appreciate you, man. The $5 super chat. Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for coming through, and also thank you for the donation. Really appreciate that. But yeah, K-Rod, Brandon Moore. I knew it was Moore and Skylar Lacey. But definitely that was terrible. So last night, right, he lets him do that. Now I want to go. I think it was a couple rounds before that knockdown, or the knockdown that wasn't called, where Tank was complaining about low blows, right? He was complaining about a low blow. He was complaining about Roach doing something. And what did Willis do? He immediately stopped the action and warned Lamont Roach. Where in that fight did Steve Willis take control and said, you know what? This is my ring. I'm in charge of what goes on here, and make the rules, right? Or enforce the rules. Not listen to what Tank is telling him. Usually what happens is that on the break or in between rounds to go to the corner, hey, stop, the low blows. They complain about the low blow. You look out for it, right? Not because Tank told you so, then you warn him. You have to spot that yourself, Steve Willis. You know this. You're a referee. You've been refereeing for a long time. You have to spot the foul and give the warning. When somebody makes a complaint, you can go to them after the round is over and let them know, hey, they're complaining about this, complaining that, watch it, all right? If I see it, I'm going to call it, right? But no, you stopped it. You stopped it in the middle of the round. You went to Lamont Roach and told him to watch the low blows because Tank told you to do that. And I don't think a lot of people that I've been watching so far have mentioned that point. They've not mentioned that. They've mentioned an obvious knockdown that they missed, but they didn't mention the fact that, Tank was complaining throughout the fight, and to focus on that and to focus on the blatant, the referee, but instant replay didn't call it. Instant replay had a chance to call it and say it was a knockdown. They put instant replay in effect where that they can go and say they could determine if a slip was a knockdown or if a knockdown was a slip, vice versa. They can go back and do that. They didn't do that as well. Right? I don't think anybody's mentioned that. You know what I'm saying? I think this was just a travesty altogether. Tank, as far as the fight is concerned, I thought Roach fought well. I thought the first few rounds was a glorified, competitive sparring session. They were talking back and forth a few times. There was some respect there. But then later on in the fight, it looked like Roach was like, nah, man, forget this mutual respect. I'm here to win. I'm here to come out and beat you. You know what I'm saying? I think there were two different, mentalities in this fight. You had a guy in Tank that was complaining throughout the fight, arguing with his own corner, complaining to Calvin like, yo, you not hearing me. You not hearing me. Like they trying to give him instruction, and he's complaining with the corner, complaining with them, saying, no, they're not listening to him. So I don't know. Do you guys think this has gone, like a lot of this has gone to Tank's head? Like this is the total Tank show, right? I mean, I'm really interested to see what you guys think. I'm going to put the link for people to come up because obviously my co-hosts are late. I'm not going to have too many. I'm most 4 people at a time if I can. BVO, salute. I didn't see you there. Salute to you, BVO. I didn't see BVO in there. But I'm going to drop it right now if you guys want to come through. A couple other things I want to mention about this fight as well. The judges scoring we're going to talk about. I'm going to bring that up. I got the judges scoring here. I want to talk about this is not the first time we've seen some weird stuff in a Tank fight. Let's go back a couple years ago where Tank fought Hector Garcia. You guys remember there was like an awkwardness where the fight stopped, and the fight stopped because Tank stopped the fight because there was like a fight or something happening in the crowd, and Tank is looking at the crowd, and Hector Garcia is like just there. Instead of Hector Garcia should have just jumped on him. You know what I'm saying? So hold on, let me see if I fix it. There you go. Instead of jumping on Tank, they both stopped for like 20, 30 seconds. It was just a very weird moment. And then again, last night we had some weird moments too. So not sure what's going on with Tank fights and the PBC and why they not laying the law down on these situations. BVO, you watched the fight last night, correct?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts about these things before we get into the fight itself?
My thoughts is I think it's a travesty that you come up here and talk about a black man need to lose his job because he didn't do the best job. That's crazy, man. Steve Wilkes made a mistake. Steve Wilkes made a mistake.
I didn't say he should lose his job.
You did. You said you've been complaining about him for a while.
I said I've been complaining about him for a while.
Yeah, because you want the black man to lose his job. I get it.
I don't want him to lose his job. I need him to go back and maybe look at the tapes of what he's doing wrong and correct it. Just like they do in other sports with umpires in baseball, with other officiating, they go back and correct you and say, hey, you need to look at what you did and correct the issue for the next fight.
I've never seen a black umpire in baseball, but I'll say this. I really think that's what happened with Tank. Tank for the first time fought somebody he was fond of. He didn't disrespect him. Tank usually tells everybody they can have his private parts for breakfast. He didn't say that to Lamont Roach. He even went as far as to say,
we lost you, BVO. BVO knows to have the. Yeah, now I hear you.
Okay, my bad. It went to the front screen. But basically, what I was saying is, this is the first time we've seen Tank go on there with no malice. Tank wasn't his usual mean, crude self.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't invite Lamont to his private parts like he always do.
Mm-hmm.
He really just went in there with a lot of respect. And I'm
Yeah.
gonna be honest with you, he took it easy on him. Took it easy
Well,
on him.
and he shouldn't have. I mean, and that's up for debate. You know, we don't know what's in the head of Tank Davis, but I'm glad you brought that up because that was one of the talking points I wanted to bring up. Is that besides, you know, he was very polite and he wasn't really talking all greasy like he may usually do, but the he was dapping up Roach pretty much the entire fight. When you seen him do that? Like he's giving him
I,
pound during the fight, like yo, like he did, like that was another thing
did
I
you
thought that
did
was
you
funny.
did you hear what Lamont said after the fight? That just hit
No,
exactly what you were talking about. Lamont said that Tank told him in the clinch, they're not gonna give it to you. They're not gonna give it to you, bro.
yeah, that they were gonna rob you. They basically said, you know, you're not gonna
Hey,
win because they're
and
gonna
I'm
give it
gonna
to you.
tell you this.
Yeah,
Tank's not any less of a fighter than we thought he was. But if you there's an old saying, don't beef with people you love. Because if you do, you're gonna hold back. And you seen Tank hold back. And no matter how people put it, Tank is still a good fighter. But I already know people gonna call him, everything but a child of God. But hey, I think Tank Davis got some work to do. He gotta get away from Coach Kenny and Coach Calvin. He got to get away from these local dudes because they let him do what he want. He needs somebody like my hermano Sock to put their foot in his butt because Tank is too talented. He's too talented to be to be doing the stuff he's doing. I mean, he looked like Canelo last night. High guard, taking turns to punch. I mean, he looked like a black Canelo last night, and that's not a good thing. So it's hard to win when you're on silk sheets. But I just think Tank got some work to do. But I don't want to take away from Lamont Roach. Lamont Roach did a great job. Shout to him, and everybody that's in DC because he really put on for the city. But I don't know. Either way it go, it was a bad look for the fight overall. This is the first time we've seen Tank look bad in the fight. So I just know that he'll be back. He'll be back stronger. And for all the boys who hating him now, y'all gonna be right back on his nuts when he fight again. Like if he fight Osaki Foster, I'm gonna buy it. If you fight Shushu Carrington, I'm gonna buy it. Tank his box office. It was a great fight. He's the new Prince I seen, and it is what it is.
you
Que
know, it's funny
pasa,
you say
Sock?
that
Que pasa, hermano?
before we go to Sock. It's funny you
Todo
say that
bien,
because I was
brother.
gonna mention the fact that he was giving him pounds throughout the fight, and that's something we never really see from Tank Davis. That's one. And you over here saying, you know, Tank is, must see TV. You know what's crazy? In the United States, the number one attraction in boxing, the face of boxing, was in attendance last night, and that was Jake Paul. How about that? Sock, tell me your
From
thoughts on
Cleveland,
the fight last
Cleveland.
night.
Um, what's funny about BDO, just to jump right into the heart of the discussion, that he needs to get away from those familiar voices. And you said that he looked like a black Canelo. He reminded me eerily of Adrian Broner. I mean, he just doesn't let his hands go. And the irony is, it's that same camp, right? Um, I don't know if at this stage in the game, if Tank is going to change. I mean, he's 30 years old and he's been boxing for a long time. I think it's probably from the neck up. He almost looked like he's just there, because he gets paid really well. Like I don't know if his heart is in the sport anymore. I mean, I don't want to, overanalyze or for one performance, but he almost looked like he was a little disinterested.
Sock, man, you know the truth, man. Tell us the truth, bro. You know what you talking about. Tell us the truth, Sock. I want to hear the real Sock answer.
I
Not
mean,
that I don't want to hear the political bullshit. I want the
well,
real
I
Sock
tell
answer.
you what, I knew that he was going to be in trouble when he walked out those two bums, Jim Jones and Santana. So those two wash bums.
That's the Sock I know. That's what I'm talking about.
So yeah. I mean, look, you got to give credit to Roach. That familiarity factor, the fact that they know each other, they fought each other in the amateurs. There's no fear, And Roach, like I said, I think on Friday, he's not a bum. He was a credible fighter. He's just a little too small, but when they rehydrated, I mean, he filled out pretty well. And for someone without a punch, that shot to the eye. I mean, if they wanted, if Tank could say it was the beeswax or whatever they use to to tighten his braid, it looked like it hurt. And he took a knee, and it was like it was just very weird. And have you spoken about Willis yet?
Yeah, we let off with that, and
Listen,
but you can go into it because you were there
I,
when I was I mentioned the Ishmael fight.
I think we're all over the weird faces. That's what kind of put him on the map, right?
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah,
think we're past that. He's not prime time ready. I know Steve for a long time since he started in the amateurs. And I just think he's not an A-class referee, and it's not the first time we've seen a ref have a bad night in the last couple of years. I mean, where are the good refs? Where are the quality refs? I think
Well,
that
Jack Reese can't do them all. I mean,
Jack Reese can do them all. Steve Smoger's dead. Where is this new crop of quality officials going to come from? So
well, Harvey Dock
Kenny
is supposed to be like the
Kenny
next
Bayless
one.
retired. I
Kenny
mean,
Bayless was kind of shaky though.
well, Kenny Bayless,
nah, man, Kenny was pretty
Yeah,
fair, man. Kenny was pretty fair.
except for those Floyd fights.
Oh yeah, well, this Floyd is different. I mean, we know that. Come on, Sock. Come on, man. We know Floyd greased palms, man. You know that.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really bad look for Steve Willis. It really was, and anyone that know, I mean, people know there's a million officials at these fights. How come one of them could not step in and say no, get up on the apron and say no? That's a knockdown. Okay, and then we probably could have seen some bigger drama going forward because then Tank would have known that he's behind. It was
he might have stepped on the gas. Yeah, that's right.
it was a terrible. It was a really
Terrible.
really
But it
bad
wasn't.
night.
It wasn't just that. Like I brought up, I don't want to say a guy is on the take, but
No,
he was.
we
He
can't
was.
say that yet.
You can't say that yet. Okay, but he was not in control of the fight, bro. Like he let Tank dictate the rules of the fight. Like I don't know if you heard what I said earlier. Like when Tank was complaining about, I
They
guess the
all
low
do that. They
blows.
all do that, Tom.
I
They
know that,
all
but
do
they
that.
don't stop. They don't stop in the middle of the rounds to warn the other guy unless they see it. What I'm trying to say is Tank was complaining about low blows and then pushing his head down, and Steve Willis stopped the round to go talk to Roach without him seeing what happened. That's what I'm trying to say. That's totally different. If the referee sees something, he's got to warn the fighter not do it. But if the referee is hearing what the other fighter is saying, oh, he's hitting me low blow, he's not. So he's got to say, he's got to let that guy know when I see it.
But this is the thing you got to
or
remember.
I'll tell him in between the rounds, bro. That's what
They
I'm saying.
do that.
He was not in
They
control
do
of the
that.
fight.
You don't be seeing Canelo when he do all that pointing. Come on, bro. Come on, don't do
But
that.
they don't. But you're missing the point. They don't stop it in between rounds and give a warning to the other fighter. They'll tell him in between. After the round is over, they might go to corner. Hey, the other corner, they're complaining about this, and that, right? Mm-hmm. But the ref's job is supposed to, warn you when he spots a foul or when he spots something wrong. Hey, you're hitting behind the head. Stop it. Hey, I just saw you that low blow. Stop it. You know what I'm saying? Not because Tank or another fighter said, "Oh, he hit me behind the head." No, that's what I'm saying. He was not in charge of the fight. That's all I'm trying to explain.
No, he wasn't. I mean, that's a good point. But this is the thing that I will say, and I'm sure Sock agree with this. Sock, we all know from being around athletes, if you keep yes men around you, you're gonna become what they thought you were. And he got too many guys that agree with him and don't. The best I ever seen Tank fight when he was with Kevin Cunningham out of St. Louis. That I can't remember who Tank fought, but Tank was switching levels. I mean, he looked like a different guy. I mean, and I don't care if I get an interview with Kenny or Calvin. Fuck them. I'll just say this. Those guys turned a guy who's punching like that into a counterpuncher.
I mean, he may have
that never happens. Sock, when you punching like that, you're never a counterpuncher. Never.
Yeah.
Never. Since they've been boxing 200-300 years, you're never going to see a guy that's punching like bricks on the back foot. It don't work like that. It never did. That's why Deontay Wilder was stalking people, because he was punching like bricks. And whenever you got a punch, you're coming to come get them. And it is what it is. And I just think that I will celebrate one thing. Tank put on a great show. Shout out to Gary Antoine on the best performance I ever seen from him. Did you see him, son?
You know,
The levels,
I caught
the
about
jab.
halfway. I caught from like the 5th round on. I was
You ain't missed nothing. It was 12-0. You didn't miss a thing. It was 12-0.
yeah. I was
He beat the dog. He beat the dog crap out of him, and it was like,
I was surprised. It was that one sided.
you know what happens is he
started fighting
actually
too late.
listened. He
Mhm.
actually listened for once. And that's the problem. You know, like I know, you can only tell an athlete whatever. But if I don't have the intestinal fortitude to want it for myself, it'll never happen.
Right.
I think I've seen a guy take his own future into his hands, because I'm gonna tell you this right now. A trainer, your best trainer doesn't mean a thing if I don't want it.
Oh yeah.
So tell me to do whatever he want me to do. It don't mean a thing if I'm not gonna do it myself.
I can't
Gary,
want it more than you.
go ahead, my bad.
No, I can't want it more than you. You know, the trainer, the hungriest man in the room is supposed to be the fighter. You know, because at the end of the day, it's you. Um, I was really surprised. I didn't think he was going to handle him like that. I was wrong. I had picked Valenzuela. I thought Valenzuela was on the, was on the rise, but he had nothing. And when he started fighting, it was too late.
He still is on the rise. I won't say he's not, but this is the thing you got to remember. Sometimes guys are so skilled, they come whoop your ass, and it's okay. It's okay. I mean, he beat the tacos out of Venezuela. And that's my he beat the taco salad out of him. And it is what it is.
Was that the second fight at 140?
Say it again.
Yeah,
that was the second fight at 140. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, he beat Pitbull Cruz, but I don't think he's really at 140.
I'm gonna say this, and I want you guys to kind of give me your opinion on this, especially my man Sock and Tommy. I feel like PBC doesn't treat their Latin fighters right. I mean, if you're a Latin fighter, if I fought Pitbull Cruz, my next fight should be against this black monster, Gary Antoine. That shouldn't be my next fight. Give me a softer touch than that.
Well, I will say this. I say this. I find it odd. This is another case where, where the PBC put a guy that came off a loss in his last fight in a championship fight, and that guy capitalized and won. Right, and Fendora lost his last fight, and then they give him a fight against Zoo, and he wins the title. And now last night you see Gary Antoine, he lost to Puello, who I would assume they would do a rematch. Now they kept it in house so they could do a unification, and after his loss he gets a world title shot his next fight.
If you Spanish, right? If you're Spanish and you fight for PBC, you gotta freaking fight God for them. And it's crazy. And if it was the other way around, I would say it. I think how they treat their Latin fighters is wrong. They should not have to be in the hard. They should not have to fight the hardest mofos every time. That's not fair. That's not right. Think about this. Pulo just fought Sandor Martin. You want him to go in there against Gary Antoine next? What?
Why not a unification? Bro. He just fought him. He beat him. He should be confident he could beat him again.
I'm just saying, man. Where is the tune-ups for the Latin fighters? It's almost like
you don't want to see.
I'm gonna keep it real. PBC is like Golden Boy in reverse. We have all the brothers fight the Latino dudes, and if you Latino or Spanish, you're gonna fight the toughest niggas known to man.
But BBO, you're talking about tune-ups. Sock just said it. PBC are not doing any regular TV shows. They're doing pay-per-views. You don't want to see a tune-up on a pay-per-view, bro.
Yeah. For real.
I'm just saying, think of it like this. Think about this, Sock. If you had a fighter, right, and you want to maximize his potential, and Spanish dude, you don't want him fighting these tough black fighters every fight, bro. That's not sustainable, and you know it. It's not.
I can't believe like you're
fighter. I mean, but you look at Valenzuela. Look, he got robbed against Colbert the first time. Then the second time, it was undoubted. No doubt. You have as much bargaining chips as you have leverage. I mean, if you're a ticket seller, if you're that dude, if you can, you can say, hey, no, fuck you. I could sell 10,000 seats. So it depends who you are.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, Valenzuela's a tough fighter, but doesn't have a huge fan base. I mean, he's from Seattle,
I
Washington.
knew this was coming. I felt it in my blood. This was coming. I swear to God.
Cobra ain't
He said,
black.
"Go with that," because
He's a black skin, right?
yeah,
Hey, you know, hey,
because he
Cobra is black. That's foul to say that. Cobra, that's my brother from Brooklyn, man.
when he
Shout out
be
to
coming
East New
out, when you
York,
don't see
man.
him coming out with the Mexican sombreros and stuff like that.
Well, because his trainer,
Yeah,
his
but
coacher.
I mean, you know what's so funny, man? I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm gonna keep it real. If you're a black man, or if you're a Spanish guy, I'm anybody. If you grow up around certain people and certain things you're gonna do, I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest with
that
you.
is
If a
true.
black guy's growing up in Spanish Harlem, he's probably gonna speak Spanish and have a Spanish woman as his woman. It's kind of how it goes. I mean, so I'm not gonna get on a man for embracing a different culture, man. Come on, man. New York is a freaking melting pot. So nobody's from New York. Everybody's from somewhere else. But I'm telling you, the way they doing their Latin fighters, man, is wrong at PBC. It's effed up. If they were doing black fighters like that, we'll be saying something like they say with Oscar. It's the same thing. They feed their Latin fighters to the toughest black dudes they got, and it's not the other way around when it comes to the Spanish dudes. It's just not.
you kill me, BBO, because like in the beginning of the show, I get on Steve Willis and you're saying it's crazy how you, meaning me, is getting at the black man and want him to lose his job, and now you're here being a spokesperson for all Latino fighters. I don't understand you, bro. I really don't.
No,
I
no.
don't.
I don't want to see
You know the
Steve Willis
problem.
in the big
You know the
fight.
That's
problem.
crazy, man.
You a typical song view, brother, because you right is right, wrong is wrong, man. Right is right,
Anyway,
is wrong. It's that simple.
I don't want to see Steve Willis in the big fight for a while. You got to earn that, you know. But you know what? It's funny because the early years of PBC, they built up Danny Garcia, you know. Well, I mean, Danny was Golden Boy, but they headlined Danny
No,
Garcia,
Golden Boy built him up. Come on, Sock. Stop, man. I want the real Sock, man. Stop.
Leo Santa Cruz. I mean, Leo Santa Cruz. But I guess it depends on the weight class, right? I mean, there weren't too many. There's not that many black fighters at bantamweight, so you got no choice. But I mean that. Look, is PBC is it slanted toward Black American fighters? Yeah, I mean the head of the company, right, Al Heyman. I mean he's black, so it is what it is, But I think if you're good, you're good. I don't think they're not. The only color that really matters is green.
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Sock. Do you remember when Mike Tyson would have Cesar Chavez Sr. on his cards with him?
Don King, absolutely.
For that? You know why that was?
That was that that was the best era of stealing pay-per-views ever. So, man, I hope. Listen, I think that the statute of limitations might have passed, but man, Don King, the best shows. You talk about Chavez, Julian Jackson, Terry Norris, all on one night. Wow.
Let me go back to last night.
What I'm saying is that this is what I'm
I want
saying.
to ask you guys a question because I want to go back to the Tank fight because I don't want to be on too long, but I want to go back and ask you guys a question, your opinion. Do you think there's something mentally off with Tank? Because I do, but I want to see if you guys believe there's something there, something off, and why, and what's going on. And I'll give my opinion after.
Mentally, in terms of like cognitive,
Like he's not 100% in boxing right now.
I
No.
said that when I came
I'll
on.
I'll go first, Sock, because the people want to hear what you got to say. So I'll go first, get out the way. The fact is this, man. You're doing what they always do to black men. Anytime something isn't right, is he crazy? Does he need meds? What's wrong with him? No. Tank is just very successful and probably don't have a steady woman in his life. And I'm trying to tell you, people don't understand. When you're making money and doing things, you need stability in your house. You need a lady, dog. And I think Tank doesn't have that, and it's showing. If you don't have a stable home life, guess what? You're going to be stressed out. It's just what it is. And I don't think nothing's wrong with him. I think he just went in there, took the guy lightly. He got a bunch of meat boys training him. And It is what it is. But Tank is going to be all right. He's going to come back. He's going to sell another show out. He's going to make some more millions. And I can't wait to see his next fight. Because the one thing I will say Tank did, he didn't make no excuse. He didn't make any excuse. And I respect that. I respect that. Because if it's anybody else, they want to make excuses and, oh, this happened, that happened. Oh, my mom's car got repoed, or a tree fell on my house. Nah, you lost, whatever, come back. Muhammad Ali lost. Everybody remember that when Muhammad Ali got his ass whipped by Joe Frazier when he came back. He came back. A loss means nothing. That's the problem with these boxing fans. Who cares? Loss, draw, come back, fight some more. I'm going to spend some more money. This is like the strip club. If I got some more money, I'm going to throw some more money before I get up out of there. It is what it is, man. Go ahead, Sok.
Yeah, I mean, I think that at this stage, or at least I can only go by your recent performance. And Tank, to me, just looked like someone who's out there because it's his job. I don't know if there's that hunger, that passion anymore, you know? At the press conference, he was talking about that they could definitely run it back, but he doesn't know if it's going to happen right away.
Yeah.
I mean, also, you know, how many times are we going to see Tank? You know, twice a year. So that means, you know, we're in March. When's the next time he comes back? You know, in August, September, if we're lucky. I mean, in reality, he needs to make people forget about this loss, and they need to run this back, you know, early May or June. You know, the latest. He needs to avenge this unofficial loss.
I'm gonna say something real quick. You guys are gonna think I'm crazy, and I think I text Drew this. I believe, and it's gonna sound crazy, but if it happens, just remember I said it. And I was talking to another guy, and we kind of thought the same thing. I think Tank is gonna do an exhibition fight with Jake Paul next. That's right. I think he's gonna do an exhibition with Jake Paul, and then he's gonna look to do the rematch with Roach. But I'm gonna go back.
Can I ask you a quick question, TD?
Go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Somebody put in the chat, he's gay. I think that's, man, Muhammad Ali ain't never been gay.
No, he's not talking about Ali being gay.
Muhammad Ali ain't never been gay. What the hell is that?
No, you're not saying that. That was not about Ali.
Oh, that's bullshit. I ain't let nobody talk about Muhammad Ali talking about he's gay.
He didn't say Ali.
It said, I just talking about Ali, and somebody say Ali is gay. What are you talking about?
Where he said Ali is gay? Nobody said Ali is gay, bro.
I just see the comments, Tommy, but
it did not say Ali.
Got it, man. My bad, you got it.
Yo, there's something wrong with you, man. You over here, you wildin', bro. Let me go back to the question. Welcome, D-Free. D-Free is gonna cook in a minute. I think I like the way you guys put it, and then I think Sok touched it up that he's not in it. He's just there just to be, you know, because it's his job. And he's made comments by that before the fight in reference that like he's only got 3 more fights. You know, that he needs to take some counseling. You know, he needs to go into like some counseling, and he don't want to go into counseling because, you know, you can't be into counseling and talk to a psychiatrist and be in a fight game at the same time. This is comments like that, and then seeing a performance like what we saw last night, right? He was complaining a lot throughout the fight, complaining to his trainers as well. After the fight, he makes an admission that he didn't even know what rounds he was in and how many rounds were left. The last round, he thought there was another round after the last round. He didn't. So the 12th round, he didn't know that was the 12th round, right? Then he says that he's got to work on himself. Like, it's all me. He's got to work on himself. I mean, we kill guys like Jared Anderson that makes comments like that. And look what Jared Anderson's been doing lately. And look at the comments he's made, you know, where he don't want to hit elbows when they told him to go to the body. You know, I think it's just that we do the same thing with Tank. He's the biggest. But let's face it, he's one of the biggest stars in boxing right now.
Not to step on you, but Tank has built up equity. Jared Anderson hasn't done shit in the sport.
That's true. That's true. But still, criticism is criticism, and if you just deserve criticism, it's only fair to give it. You know. So
what?
That's all I'm saying. I
selling the show out.
Excuse me.
You talking about you giving him criticism for selling the show out?
No, I'm giving him criticism for his performance and the comments that he's made before and after. That I think mentally there's some issues there. And I don't think he's fully into it.
These kids are soft, man. I don't think nothing's wrong. These kids are soft. They're soft.
Tom, Look, I think you might be onto something with Jake Paul, because why was Jake Paul there?
Yeah. So
You know,
that's just look. That's just a hunch. And then I was talking. I'll tell you who I was talking to, because like I was talking to Jose to Fire, and he believes the same thing. And we was like, you know what?
I'm with it.
I can see it happening. And he mentioned that. He said he didn't want to take Roach in the next fight, and he said you're going to find out soon. So like that's just weird for him to say you're going to find out soon who the next fight is.
Hey.
He said this in the post fight. And on top of that, let me add, because we got two more people here. On top of that, he showed up to the post fight conference like 2 hours late, like almost 4:00. I tell you, man, it's something not right, bro.
You don't they don't respect our time. You know what's gonna happen, and God forbid this happens. If Tank was to ever lose his money, he will find out real quick. You keep giving people your ass to kiss, there won't be nobody there. And that's what happens when these guys get money and they don't have a father. You talking about something a little deeper than just Tank. There's a lot of kids like that. They don't respect nobody's time. You tell them be to the job at 8, they there at 8:15. It's just a lack of respect from the youth. That's all that is.
It's a spoiled mentality too. I mean, so but look, we got a couple other guys. So I want to welcome my man K-Rod. K-Rod, thanks for coming through. And my co-host D Free. D Free was good. D Free. This is the first time in history of the show, I believe, that Sock has came on before you. This is we got to mark this on the calendar. March 2nd, 2025. The Sock has came in before D Free. But you guys can cook. Tell us what your thoughts on it. We've been cooking on so many different things, but I'll lead off with you, D Free, and we'll go to K-Rod.
And I heard what y'all was talking about. I'm gonna start off from what I heard last. What do we think Tank is gonna do next? Well, the word that I've got, I got a phone call today about who Tank's next opponent is going to be, and he said his next opponent was in the building, and the word that I got is he's fighting Pitbull next. That's the word that I got. He's fighting Pitbull next. I don't see him fighting Jake Paul. Jake Paul way too big to fight Tank Davis. That it doesn't even make sense. Jake Paul 200 pounds. Tank Davis is 133 pounds, 5'5". So I don't see the Jake Paul situation being that. It doesn't even make sense.
Did Mayweather fight Big Show?
Good point. Good point.
Exhibitions don't matter.
K-Rod, you good?
I don't even see that even making any sense. Now I could see if he was fighting on Jake Paul card against another MMA fighter, that might make sense. But not Jake Paul. But I think he's going to be fighting Pitbull next.
That's even worse. But that's what I mean. It's a hunch. I'm not saying it's going to be true.
I heard the same thing. That's probably going to be the fight.
But the fight last night, like I said when we was on earlier with Crush, it shouldn't even have made it to the 12th round. That fight was a disqualification when Tank Davis took the knee and then went over to the corner and leaned out the ropes, and his team came up and wiped his face or whatever they did over there. That was a disqualification right then and there. That fight should have been stopped, and Lamont Roach should have been awarded the win right there. So I don't know what – I think this is the first time Tank Davis ever faced adversity, and we see know how to handle it. He thought that Lamont Roach was going to fold under the pressure, and Lamont didn't fold. And I think that was the issue that Tank had. He never had anybody to be able to take his power and keep coming at him and not fold. And so Tank didn't know how to deal with it. And he tried to find another answer, and he didn't know what to do.
Hey, can I ask a quick question real quick, Tommy?
Yes, sir.
What is this obsession if Tank is gay or not? Who cares? I keep hearing, oh, he's gay. A bushwhacker never bothered me. What does it matter? Okay, get up here, man. If he's gay, he's gay. So what? I'm just trying to figure out Scared about him being gay.
So with that being said, I don't want to hear you say pause to anything ever again. K-Rod,
I'm just
what's going
asking
on,
you, bro. Like,
K-Rod, what's good, K-Rod?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. What's going on, bro?
All right. Thanks for having me on. Just want to say a huge big shout out to Lamont Roach and shout out to the DMV. I think this was just like a shout out by Lamont Roach. I felt like this whole fight should have been Tank's, domination, but he didn't do anything that he was gifted at doing, and he seemed to be like the type of fighter where if you're like saying that you don't feel like dedicated to like doing what you want to do, and like you still make like really high big goals to say that you still want to be this and that, then I feel like that's showing signs of like a failed man per se, because like you're not putting yourself to like a higher degree of like being successful, and you're underperforming because you're not putting that discipline in to stay 1000% focused. So I think Gervonta Davis has showcased that the man in the mirror, principle is true, because like the Mike Tyson like effect is definitely like the pure example of that. But I just felt like the discipline that Tank showed before this fight even happened just didn't showcase his true hunger for the sport. And I felt like Lamont Roach took advantage of that, because if it wasn't to be that case, I felt like Lamont Roach would have taken this fight a lot more seriously, to be a little bit more careful with how he was presenting himself during this fight. Because if Gervonta, if he was at his greatest peak as a great fighter, I personally would have felt like that he would have stopped Roach. But the fact that he wasn't performing to his highest level, that's where Roach took advantage of it, and he was able to beat him. So I thought Roach dominated him simply because Gervonta Tank Davis, he just wasn't performing at his highest level because he wasn't disciplined.
That's a good point. I agree.
yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. But I mean, it's a bunch of things in this fight. I mean, it's at the obvious, and the obvious, in my opinion, is that Roach should have won the fight, and I thought Roach won the fight, and he should have got the victor in this fight, regarding even without the knockdown being scored, right? So he should have just won even without that, and I thought he did the better work. I thought he won the last 3 rounds, the championship rounds. I thought he won 10, 11, and 12. I thought he was clearly the winner of round 1. I mean, I thought the first few rounds was, kind of like competitive sparring in some cases. They were talking to each other, and, it seemed a little too friendly to me in the beginning. And as the fight went on, it just seemed that Roach, was gaining more and more confidence. I mean, that's what I saw. Like, he gained more and more confidence, and the talking became like, nah, man, I'm here to come win. And I think Tank took it like, we're here, and, let's just, go to work, kind of like wrestlers when they go in and, it's booked and it's staged, what's going to happen, and, Roach didn't go with the script. Roach came to win, you know what I'm saying? So, and shout out to him. I think he's going to get, I think he should get his flowers, and I don't think he should get criticized for what Tank didn't do. I think we should still, give props to what Roach did do. You know what I'm saying? So, and
I have a question, Tom.
I mean, what did he do?
I have a question.
He won the fight.
Okay, so I have a question. If you're Roach's people, right? The biggest payday obviously is a rematch, right? But if Tank doesn't want to do it right away, do you just simply go back down to 130 and make your claim to fame that, hey, I got robbed, and you can make him the biggest star at 130?
I think that's the move. I think he can do that, and I believe he should protest the fight. Now, sometimes when you protest a fight, that's going to mess up your bag for a possible rematch. But why, if I'm Roach, why would I want a rematch unless I'm going to get paid, which he's going to get paid good money? But if it's really ridiculous amount to sell your soul, because let's face it, if there's a rematch, he's not winning the rematch. I would be shocked if you want to rematch. I think that was the best you're going to see of Roach versus Tank. And if you get a performance like that again, he's still not getting the decision. if he's to go out again. So I don't think he should even worry about the rematch. I think he should protest the fight based off the rule, because when you protest anything, you're protesting a rule that was made or a rule that wasn't made. And he can protest the fact that a knockdown was not scored. And I think he has a good case, and I think they can overturn it, and he wins that fight. And that's what I think he does. Now, usually when they do protests like that, they got to sit on the shelf for like a year and a half, and not fight and wait till everything goes through. But he doesn't have to do that. He can do what you said. He can go back to 130 and defend his title. He can unify. He could try to unify with O'Shaquie Foster. That's a good fight. O'Shaquie Foster is very, is a good champion, and he could go on with his career and say, you know what, I beat Tank Davis, the biggest name in boxing, right? In American boxing, I beat Tank Davis, and they didn't give me the win, and he can sell himself as that. That's what I think he should do. Whether or not he does it, I don't know. Especially the fact that Tank said he's not going to fight him right away. This is what he said. He said, I would like to get the rematch, but it's not going to be the next fight.
Yeah, could I also add in something?
Of course.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be final, but from what I am potentially hearing, which I want to say it could be announced by the WBA, I am not too sure if it might happen, but maybe if it does happen, Floyd Schofield could possibly be the next fight for Tank, because he's going to be #1 in the WBA for Gervonta's belt. So if the WBA mandates that, then I don't know if that's going to be about the next fight, but I would probably say that's probably where Tank will probably go if he wants to just keep himself active, and then he'll probably, try to revisit the Roach fight in the upcoming future.
That's a good point too, because right now there's no #1. Right now they got Floyd at #2.
Let me ask y'all this real quick.
Yeah.
Now, we heard a lot of Floyd Mayweather bashing, right, from Tank. What I call hate. If he had anything like Floyd, why wouldn't he fight him immediately? Floyd didn't do that. If you thought Floyd lost, one thing about that goofball, he going to fight him again next. McDonough got a couple good punches. He fought him next. So I'll just say this.
And Castillo fight, a lot of people thought, Castillo, a lot of people thought Castillo beat Floyd. He went back in and he beat him convincingly.
He did. But I'll just say this. Tank is the new Prince Asim, man. Don't put him up there with Devin Haney. Don't put him up there with Tiafimo. Don't put him up there with them guys. He's more like Prince Asim. He fight who he want to fight. His next fight might as well be against Mickey Mouse. We're talking about fighting Jake Paul. He might as well get Mickey Mouse if he's going to fight Jake Paul next.
But I don't make the fights. This is a prediction. And I'm not calling for that fight, obviously. I'm just saying the way boxing has been the last 5 years, I wouldn't be surprised if that's the next fight. If they do an exhibition or something silly like that. I wouldn't be shocked, bro. And that's why I'm saying, watch. That might be the fight he's referring to that announced next. Now it could be he could fight Floyd Schofield because the WBA might mandate him.
Now we're in the Lamont Roach era now, is what they saying?
Say that again?
I said, are we in the Lamont Roach era now? Is that what they're saying?
What because
it can't be Tank Davis. It can't be the Tank Davis era if you're not going to give him a rematch. I don't know. I put like this, man. I don't want to bash Tank because he's a brother, man. But, man, he make it hard to defend him. I'll tell you that.
That's what I'm saying. Man, because you're trying to defend him now. But what if he does do that? Can you defend him?
No, I mean, he do goofy stuff all the time. And this is the thing. This is why I don't understand Tank fans, because say what you want, Devin and Teal don't do this type of stuff. They just don't. They get their ass beat, and it's okay. They want to get they try to get a rematch, or they don't. I mean, just say you don't want to fight them again. It makes Tank look even worse.
None of them fought a rematch, so I can't say that they fought their rematch. None of them fought a rematch. Loma wanted a rematch. Devin didn't give it to him. Cambosa said we could fight a rematch. T.O. moved out of the division. None of them fought a rematch.
Yeah,
except Haney.
I mean, the Puerto Ricans, right?
The Puerto Rican guy. Rich Mancuso said, "Hey guys, it's difficult for Tank with his rights with PBC. and the rematch should happen, but logistics come in the way. Great chat. Continue the chat Thursday, Thomas, on keeping in the ring. I will be speaking about this on Thursday for sure. Thank you, Rich. And then my man Donnie's trolling in the chat. He says Tank said run it back.
Hey,
Tank did
Rich, I
not.
want to interview. It's me, BBO
Rich,
Boxing. Rich, I need an interview.
I'll hook it up. He wants to interview you, Rich. We'll talk. I'll call him up if you really want to do it. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
but I don't know. That's why I wanted to point out these things. Go ahead, D Free. I see you right.
No, I was gonna say I think a lot of the focus is based around what didn't happen last night, but I think it's taken away from what did happen. And we saw a guy come out there last night that nobody gave any chance of beating Tank. He came out there and he put on a heck of a performance, better than any opponent that Tank has ever faced. Um, and Lamont Roach need a lot of credit for what he did last night because nobody gave him a chance. Everybody said this was a trash fight. Tank was going to get him out of there within 9. I was one of the ones that thought Tank Davis was going to stop him. And Lamont Roach came out there and proved everybody wrong. He's definitely a worthy opponent, and he definitely came out there to fight last night to lose. He wasn't going to go out there and just collect a paycheck. He came out there to win, and he put on a heck of a performance. And shout out to Lamont Roach because nobody gave him a chance of beating Tank Davis. And in my book, he won. Like I said, that was a disqualification, and he should have been awarded the win. And I think a lot of that is being overshadowed by what everybody is thinking what's next for Tank instead of the praise that Lamont should be getting for the performance he put on last night.
Yeah.
Listen,
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say something to segue off of like what D Free said. Imagine if Roach had won and everybody would have been still talking about Tank. Does that just like delineate like the fact that Roach, he was just there to be used as like a scapegoat to be like, okay, this guy's gonna get sacrificed. Gervonta's gonna like, wipe the floor with him and then just move on. But it's like I think like honestly, like the problem with this whole fight was like you didn't need to fight him to begin with. And Roach even said it himself, like he didn't need to fight me. So it's like, what was his plan, leading up to this fight for him to fight him? Because if anything, if you're Gervonta Tank Davis being disciplined with your career to beat the best competition, you should have been taking out Shakur Stevenson, Devin Haney. You should have been taking everybody out, and he's never done that. And that's what's been frustrating, a lot of, the critics that actually do care about his career. Because it's like, honestly, like you're kind of just going through like a laundry list of like opponents that that you could beat versus like you should just be beating like the opponents where, let the mass public don't know if you could beat these guys, which, I would say Tank, he's very capable to defeating like the upper echelon, like opponents. It's just that why are you turning everything backwards when you know that your skills are like far greater to like where you should be right now?
There's a comment, and I don't think I asked this. I wanted to ask this, so I'm going to ask it because he brought it up now. Tank thought that this was going to be a tune-up, and he took Roach lightly. Do you think that's true?
Yeah, I think it's absolutely true because you could tell by Tank's emotion coming into the fight. Even in the first press conference, he was very nonchalant about the fight. He didn't really like he wanted to have the fight. He wasn't worried about Lamont Roach. And then even at the last press conference, we didn't see the normal Tank Davis that's going back and forth. He was more so worried about the fact that Lamont brought his mother there, and he was like, "Well, I can't say what I want to say because you got your mother here." I think he had a little bit too much respect for Lamont Roach because they did grow up together, and he's been around Lamont Roach since he was like 8, 9 years old. And so it was there. And so I think he realized, okay, I faced him in the amateurs. I know what he's about. And a lot of people thought that's what Lamont was thinking. And it looked like it was more so that's what Tank was thinking. He knew what Lamont was about. He was just going to go in there, beat Lamont up and stop him. And then it was going to move on to the next one. But yeah, I think he definitely took him very lightly because we see it. Tank Davis did a lot of stuff in that made you say, okay, what's going on with Tank Davis? Is he really in this fight? Like he was talking to the ref and complaining to the ref about things that was going on in the fight. And I'm like, no, just fight. You can't do the ref job. The ref got to do what he's gonna do.
Mhm.
You got to just go out there and fight. And we've seen that before from Tank Davis. He would stop the fight and tell. I think I was watching the Ryan Garcia fight last night. Told the ref, "Hey, Ryan got tape hanging off his glove. Let's get the tape off his glove." And then the ref looked and he was like, "Oh yeah, he does got some tape hanging." Like Tank, he does stuff, and I think he got so comfortable of being the A side and being able to do what he wanted to do that he felt like there was things in that fight that he can do, and nobody was going to be able to say anything about it. He could do whatever he wanted to do, and like I said, he looked like he faced some adversity and he didn't know how to get away from it.
A good point. He didn't know how to. He panicked.
Mm-hmm. Once he was in a fight, he kind of panicked, and he just started complaining. His mannerisms kind of changed up. Because I mean, the writing was on the wall of who was supposed to win the fight. You come in there to watch the Tank show. He's a big attraction for a reason. People love coming to see Tank. Tank provides knockouts. He provides great entertainment, right? And the script was Tank was going to win. And even the judges had it in the script because look at these scorecards. These scorecards, 2 judges gave Tank 5 of the first 6 rounds. They gave from round 2 to round 6. They gave all Tank. And then Tank won the last round. I think Roach won the last round on all 3 scorecards. If he doesn't win the last round, meaning that means he was behind, he doesn't even get the draw. He loses. So these scorecards are a little funny to me. I mean, rounds 2 through 6, they were hard to score, but there's no way Tank won 5 of those 6 rounds. That was insane. So I don't have the CompuStats. I know Rich sent it to me. I should have used those as well. I believe Tank landed a little bit more. If I'm not mistaken, it was like 6 punches or something like that. He landed 6 more punches in the fight, and they threw about the same. I think maybe Roach might have threw more. That's shame on me. I should have uploaded the CompuStats as well. But listen, I don't want to discredit Roach because I don't discredit any fighters here. They'll whip my ass. How about that? All these fighters are good in their own way, but there's levels to this. And Tank is an A plus level fighter, or so we proclaim him to be, right? And Roach, is maybe a B minus or B fighter at best. And, Roach did his thing and he should get all the praise and credit for it, but there's levels for a reason. And Tank didn't, play his part. He was flustered. He found himself in a fight that was not as friendly as they were in the first few rounds, in my opinion, where it looked like a sparring session. And, Roach came to win and Tank was like, wow, this guy came to win. And the complaining with the corner, these are all bad looks from him. People are criticizing Tank heavily and rightfully so. But I think we need to praise Roach. And I don't know people saying that, Roach is a, cherry pick on wrong. I think that's a little discrediting. People saying Tank fans are saying, oh, we told you that Roach was good. So like you got the Tankamaniacs and the big Tank fans that say Tank can't do no wrong. That's what they're going to say. They're going to say that Roach, we told you Roach was good. You guys said it was a cherry pick, whatever. No, I think Roach is a solid fighter, but I think Tank made him look good. How about that? I don't know if any of you want to follow up on that. So,
yeah, I just think oh.
No, go ahead, Carl.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, I was just going to make my point to say, like, if you know that you are coming into a fight that you should be dominating, you should not be saying to the public, "Oh, I'm thinking about hanging it up by the end of the year." Like, you should not give out like certain clues to your like opponents that are seeing you being like a potential vulnerability, because I feel like Gervonta making these bad looks is just going to make it worse for him in the coming fights if he continues to fight more. And this fight should have been a fight where he should have done very well, you know, just like the Frank Martin fight. And he just didn't go all the way. He didn't stay locked in. He just made everything bad and made himself look worse as the fight went on. So if you're going to, you know, continue in the sport, like, you know, I would definitely say that he needs to take it a lot more seriously, because it's going to get worse if he chooses to pull off more shenanigans. But I would just personally say he just needs to hang it up at this point.
Listen, let's do this. If Roach was to go and fight Shakur, who you guys got winning and why? I know some people. I know one person don't really not too fond of Shakur on here. I won't say who, but if Shakur fights Roach, is that fight close?
No, I don't think Shakur hands is good enough for that fight to be close.
So you would favor Roach?
Yeah, I would favor.
Okay.
And another thing,
based off of the performance that we saw last night.
Right. And Shakur, we have Shakur. When has he fought another guy that's a good boxer? You know, give him a different game plan. And if Shakur is a counter puncher, I think Roach would be very competitive in that fight.
Okay. All right, that's why I asked this question.
I think Shakur has some of what Tank went through last night. We seen that with Shakur in his previous fight. He was complaining to his corner and things like that, and talking about how if they were telling him how to cut the ring off, he's like, well, if I go that way, he's going to go that way. So we seen that with Shakur. I think if Shakur has that same type of adversity, I think we'll see some of the same. I think we'll see that from Shakur as well. He's another one of these guys that has been catered to, far as his the level of a fighter that we put him at. And I think he'll have the same issues when he faced adversity for the first time in his career.
That's interesting. Okay, I don't think the fight would be competitive. I think it'll be a boring fight as usual, like usual Shakur fights. I think both guys are counter punchers, so they're going to be waiting on each other. So you know you're not going to get much action. I disagree with what Donnie's saying here. He says Roach has to come out swinging and bring the aggressor, and being the aggressor, but that's not his style, and that favors Shakur. Shakur is a counter puncher. He's going to take that aggression and use it against you. So. I don't know. I asked you guys this. I thought you guys were going to agree with what I said. I don't think it's close. I think Shakur would wash Roach, but we don't know. We don't know unless that fight happens. They talking about it happening. I doubt it, but
yeah, like I'd rather see Roach go back to 130 just to get that undisputed, because money wise, I would say that would just make his return back to 135 a lot bigger. But I wouldn't be mad if he would just say, well, now that I've already fought Tank, let me go after the other 135 guys. Like, if that would be like the case of if he wants to stay at 135 and just say, hey, look, you know, I don't need 130 no more. I feel way better at 135. I personally want to see him up against guys like George Kambosos. He could go up against Edwin De Los Santos. Like, he has plenty of.
Kambosos moved up to 140.
Oh, okay, yeah. Like, I'm sorry. Yeah. Like he can go. He can go up against anybody in the top 15. I think that's like a good measuring stick to see where he's at.
Here's another matchup. You know I'm going to be one-sided on this one. How about this one? Roach, if he stays at 135, Roach and Keyshawn Davis.
Yeah, Keyshawn Davis.
I would favor Keyshawn Davis more so because of the difference in the size. I think Lamar Roach could stand up to Keyshawn's power. We saw him stand up to Tank's power last night. I think it's going to be a close favor Keyshawn Davis because of his boxing ability and his size. But I wouldn't be surprised if it's a close fight and Lamar lose by a split decision.
Okay. I'd favor Keyshawn as well in that fight. And I don't think anybody gets stopped. I think it goes decision. I would favor Keyshawn to win a unanimous decision over Roach in a competitive fight, though. Not he wouldn't wash him, but I think he beats Roach in a competitive fight.
Going back to the Shakur, we can only judge these guys off the last fight. The last fight that we saw Shakur in, and the fight that we saw Lamont Roach in, I don't think Shakur is going to respect Lamont Roach's power, so he's not going to be as defensive as we've seen him in with guys with bigger punchers. I think he's going to look at Lamont Roach. But I think he'll look at Lamont Roach, a guy with only 10 knockouts. He's like, okay, this dude don't have a lot of power, so I don't have to respect him as much. And so that's why I think he will get beat by Lamont Roach, because the guys that he respect their power, he's more defensive. The guys that he doesn't respect their power, he tends to let his hands go a lot more. We've seen that with the Artem fight. We've seen that with the Josh Padley fight. The guys that he lets his hands go a lot more. But the guys that he does believe had a lot of power, that's when he's more defensive.
I want to address this comment here. Grease in my eye, boxing talk. That's pretty funny. He says Roach got a draw with Tank. It is not the same as winning. He cannot take it and run, mister. I'm not sure who's he referring to, but my opinion on that is that yes, Roach got a draw, and technically in this, in the books, in the history books, is going to go in as a draw. But the people, the fans that watch the fight, they're going to all say the majority have said that he won that fight, and he can roll with that, and he could get promoted as such also going on to his next fight.
And he's a world champion.
Definitely he should run.
Yeah, and he's a world champion at 130, but they will promote him as such. They will promote him as the guy that beat Tank but didn't get the decision. So he can definitely run with it if he wanted to.
I'm about to say, most definitely he should run. He was deemed to get knocked out in this fight. Nobody had him going the distance with Tank Davis. The only time we seen Tank Davis go the distance was a guy that he fought in a 6-rounder and a guy that he hurt his hand in the ring with. Everybody else, he stopped. He was deemed to get stopped by Tank Davis.
Okay. So I have a question. If they run it back, how big of a fight could it be if it's made in their home city? Or what's the biggest arena in the DMV, Washington area with the
Capital One, the Capital One Arena.
Oh yeah, where the Wizards play.
Is that under construction?
It's under construction, but if they make this fight, that it'll be up and running by the time the fight is that comes around, because it's only under construction for the next 2 months.
Well, how about this? How about promoters actually, being creative and doing their job? How about making this fight in Camden Yards?
Oh yeah,
that'll be dope.
You know what I mean? Like, let's earn your money. Stop taking a fucking the casino money. Let's be creative. Build this fight up. It's neighborhood rivalry.
D-Free, you ever been? I know D-Free, you're from DC. So have you been to Camden Yards? Is that close? Is that a good idea? What do you think? I've never been there, so I don't know. Do you think that's a good idea? Do it in that stadium outdoors?
Camden Yards.
That's where the Baltimore Orioles play.
Oh,
you talking about the Camden Yards?
Yeah. That's what. Yeah.
It would be a good idea if it was during the summer and there's no rain in the forecast. I don't see it being a problem, because it is a big 45 minute drive from DC to Baltimore, so it's no problem for the DC fans coming out to Baltimore. That wouldn't be an issue. I mean, they can even do it at FedEx Field, which is right there in Maryland, which is right in between DC and Baltimore, and that's an outdoor arena too. I mean, FedEx Field holds 90,000 people.
How about the weekend of the Preakness? You tell me that's not fire.
That's in May, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
I mean, yeah, and they would make a lot of money. They get more fans. they'll get like 40,000 people in there rather than 19,000 in an arena. I mean, that's a great idea, you know. And then maybe Tank Roach could take that rematch, because to me personally, I don't think Roach should take the rematch. I think Roach should just run with what he got and protest his fight, because I don't think he's going to get a fair shake. But if they could do something like that and he's going to make like $5 million or more or something crazy, then all right then. But that's just my opinion. I just don't think he's going to get a fair shake. He didn't get a fair shake last night. Why would he get a fair shake in a rematch?
But he'll get a you figured he was going to make about $1 million, because I mean he only made 250. But
that's what he made last night, was 250.
That's what I see.
No back end money either.
I'm sure there is.
That's crazy.
I think
250K.
Well, according to his interview, I think he got like $1 million. They say, well, he said he was offered more money for his mandatory at 130, but he said this is a better fight. This is a bigger fighting Tank Davis. And they said, well, yeah, you get $1 million in the back end. And he said, who told you about the back end? So he made it seem like he wasn't getting any back end, but I'm not sure if he did. He made it seem like he wasn't getting any back end.
Yeah, I think he runs his own management company, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he might get some back end.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I like that idea, Sock. I think we need to push for that. Get these fighters paid. It's a rivalry now, right? And is it in the DC DMV area?
Mm-hmm.
You know, they'll get 40 to 50. I don't know how many people would fit in FedEx, right? I'm assuming they'd fit like 50 because it's a big football stadium. So you could fit more people on the field, right? I mean, they could do that. Camden Yards, same thing. In the baseball field, you know, they'll fit more people, like when they did the Cotto fight at Yankee Stadium, right? They could do the same thing. They'll get a whole bunch of fans. It's in May. It's not too hot, not too much humidity. You got to worry about the rain, but who cares, because they're going to have something to cover the rain anyway. So the fans are the only ones that get screwed, but the fighters will be protected. So listen, I like that idea. I think that's the only way I would do it.
That would be good, because they could lower the ticket prices so you can get more fans in there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't have a problem. I mean, we've seen them do outdoor arenas before. Back in the 90s and in the 80s, we see them do a lot of outdoor arena fights. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. And like I said, they can lower the ticket prices, like somewhere like Northwest West now. They have a big teleprompt where everybody can see what's going on. If you're not close to the ring, you can see what's going on in the arena. So I wouldn't be opposed to that. That'd be great, because them lowering the ticket prices and they putting it in a stadium like that, you'll have everybody in DC, Maryland, and Virginia coming out to that fight.
I mean, I think if Tank wasn't motivated, you know, going in, I think maybe all week him getting roasted and people, you know, calling him out. Maybe this is the experience that Tank needs, you know, to get back into being the Tank that a lot of people like myself feel he is. You know, when people kind of like Apollo Creed, you know, hearing all the headlines that he carried the bum, he carried the stallion, you know, the same thing. It's gonna get tiring after a while.
Yeah, I mean, every one of these top level guys needs a wake up call every once in a while. We've seen it from Canelo. We've seen it even with Floyd Mayweather when he got rocked against Shane Mosley. He got rocked against Jab Judy. Once they get to a certain level and they think everything is easy picking, they need a wake up call every once in a while. So I think if Tank plays his wake up call and he gets back to the basics. But if this is what Tank has always been, this is the beginning of the downfall of Tank Davis.
Yeah, it seems that way. We're not going to know until the next one, but we shall see. Donnie says that it won't sell because the undercard needs to be great. Hey, just throw Jake Paul on it. It will sell out. I mean, yes and no. I mean, listen, I got to give Tank props. I didn't think they would sell out. They sold out the Barclays Center last night, and you know, both guys from the DMV, but it was in Brooklyn, New York, and it was mostly because of Tank. you got to give Tank a lot of props. So, I mean, if they had it in Baltimore, in Camden, or where the Ravens play, FedEx, you got to believe that they're going to come out. Huh?
That might be a little too big. Those football fields. I think Camden Yards is perfect.
I think Camden Yards is probably the good.
It's perfect.
Yeah, I mean,
and it's probably set up better. It's probably closer. It'll be closer to the ring, as far as like the stadium and the seats.
Mm-hmm.
So
it would really be an event. Like, it would be an event. It would be. It'll because remember, sports and entertainment is a copycat, right? It's a copycat industry. I mean, May 2nd, they're going to be doing fights in Times Square, New York, right?
Yeah.
So
it's a copycat industry.
Yeah,
You can make it a battle of the rematch. You can have Tank Davis, and you can have the newly crowned WBA champion Gary Antoine Russell rematching Alberto Puyo for unification.
Yeah. That makes sense.
Those two fights. Yeah,
that'd be awesome.
And then you can have some other guys on the undercard as well. That they can make a event out of the situation where you can put a couple of good fighters on there. To now you got more of a audience, so you could put more good fighters on there to make that money.
Fighters would be jumping to be a part of that event.
Oh, absolutely. If they did that outdoors in Camden, Benavidez is still a PBC guy. They could put Benavidez and somebody on the card.
Benavidez is going to want to be the main guy. I don't know about Benavidez, but but I hear you. You could. I mean,
who's another PBC guy that they have that draws,
that moves the needle?
That you can have on that card.
The roster is not that deep.
The return of Jamel Charlo.
Oh yeah, Jamel Charlo, that'd be good.
And you got to imagine they'll put him with a good opponent, So
I mean you can put him in there with a good opponent, but like I said, it could be the return of Jamel Charlo, and you can have Jamel on there for a devastating loss. He needs a bounce back fight. Jamel Charlo just now coming back off a long layoff off of his loss. He needs a bounce back fight. So you put both of them in there on the undercard. Ain't neither one of them going to complain about being on the undercard.
Yeah. Hey, we'll see. I'm gonna close it up. I just wanted to talk about last night and some of these points about the events that took place in the fight, not the actual fight itself, and we touched up on that, but just a lot of shenanigans as far as like the referee losing control and the excuses and some of the things that were being said. So I'm going to play my video one more time because I thought it was funny. So, and I'm not sure how many times I could play it, but let me play this real quick.
The knockdown, what happened? I just got my hair done 2 days ago and she put grease in my shit. So the shit was like, like when you sweating and things like that and the grease come in my face, it burnt my eyes type shit. Damn, why y'all booing like I'm saying bullshit? Like this is real facts. Come on, man. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. Swing the wheel, it's gone. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. And she put grease in my shit. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. And she put grease in my shit. I just got my hair done. 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 Why y'all boys like I'm saying bullshit? Hey, this is real facts. Hey, this is real facts. Why y'all boys like I'm saying bullshit? Hey, this is real facts. It burnt my eyes. Hey, this is real facts. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done 2 days ago.
Yo, those real facts. Those are real facts.
Yeah, that nigga.
Gotta get punched.
I'm gonna run with that all week, man. I'm gonna be
I'm running that on my page.
Yo, Marky Dan, man, you came a little bit too late, man. What's going on?
Nah, salute. Yeah, man. I just woke up. I just woke up from my little nap. It's a shame. I wanted to come on earlier on
It's
BVO
like
stream, but I
24
was on
taking old
work.
people naps.
I was at work, but it is what it is. Um, man, that was really something last night, bro. Salute to Lamont Roach, but it was a shame. That was such a terrible robbery. It was a fix from the beginning. It's a shame because I hold Steve Willis. I think that's his name precisely. I
Yes.
hold him in such I hold him in such high regard. But now I'm just thinking of him as the weird referee with the bug eyes. That's all I'm thinking of him right now. Because that was one of the worst. I don't know if you say a call or what, but that was just one of the worst things I've ever seen. I've never seen that before where a fighter literally takes a knee in the middle of the round and you don't call that a knockdown. And then it's even worse for Steve Willis because if you go back and listen to it, Steve Willis himself said, "Oh, well, don't do that. That looks like a knockdown." What do you mean that looks like a knockdown? That is a knockdown. And then, I mean, just the fact that it came down to a draw at the end of the fight, it looks terrible. I didn't think he needed the knockdown to win personally. I think either which way it was a robbery. But for all the Tank or not even the Tank fans, because it's not on them. It's just on Tank. I hope to see him rematch Lamont. I hope to see Lamont get another crack at the apple. But after that, I need to see this dude fight somebody that I think could beat him, like a Keyshawn, like a Shakur. Because I need to see Tank prove himself finally. Because I'm sorry. At this point, the biggest adversity we've seen Tank face outside of Lamont Roach is probably Mario Barrios. I need to see this dude fight them Keyshawn. If you're going to say you Sugar Ray and you Floyd, I mean, those dudes went through some things. They faced adversity and had to prove their doubters wrong. So I need to see Tank do that. He say he's going to retire in a year. I need to see all of that. But salute to Lamont Roach. That's the point blank and period. Salute to Lamont.
Okay. Salute to you for coming up, 2 hours late. I appreciate you. We'll talk more this week. I'm sure you guys will go on later on tonight. That's all I got. I wanted to touch up on this, and everybody's talking about it, so why not us? We're trying to bring good sports talk to YouTube as well. Shout out to my man K-Rod. I see he has to go. Appreciate you, K-Rod, for coming through. You're always welcome to come up here. K-Rod knows his stuff. He be going to the fights down in Florida, and he be putting up good content as well. And I appreciate you guys. But yeah, I just wanted to come up talk about that because there's a couple interesting things that happened with the ref, with the instant replay.
It was terrible.
With the Tank complaining and Steve Willis, threatening Roach that he's going to take up a point because Tank told him to do it. Like it's just a lot of craziness that I wanted to bring up. So
I really one more thing before we get out of here, Tommy. I really wonder if Lamont Roach's people are gonna. I'm sure that they probably already filed a protest, but I mean I don't know how. Like if you protest that, how a commission could look at that and not say that that Steve Willis not making the correct decision influenced the course of the fight. So I wonder if they would get through on some kind of reversal. They probably won't because that's just the way sports work. But I don't know. I would be interested to see what would happen if an official process was started or something. But yeah, that's just my bars.
All right. You guys got anything else before I sign off? I'm going to sign off with the video one last time before we go. But you guys, then we'll end it with that. And then, we'll touch base with you guys during the week. I'll definitely be on Thursday. We're keeping in the ring with Rich Mancuso. We got a show lined up. And then during the week, I'm not sure what we're going to do yet. Stay tuned. We'll be producing more content. Look out for the combine stuff we're going to do, me and D Free, where we're going to be ranking our players and seeing how some of the potential draft picks are doing in the combine. So, but that's it. You guys silent? You done?
Yeah,
I'm good.
Good job. It was
get my little bars.
something to talk about. Yeah. So, thanks for having me on as always.
No, thank you for being on time. Sort of appreciate you, Sock. We'll talk.
Yeah.
We got some
Salute
stuff coming
shop
up.
to you,
We got an interview we're gonna be doing either this week or next week too, in regards to the fundraisers that's happening in Jersey. And then we might bring in Ofacio too because he's got a fight coming up in April. So we might, in a few weeks away. So we got some stuff lined up.
Busy
All
street.
right, fellas.
All right, let me finish with that. I appreciate you guys. Thanks everybody that came through in the chat. I appreciate you guys. My man Eric Jordan, thanks for the super chat. Appreciate you. And we'll catch you on the next one.
All right, chop cheese, Tommy. Puerto Rican Freak, Dominican Socrates.
Take it easy.
Knockdown, what happened? I just got my hair done 2 days ago and she put grease in my shit, so the shit was like, like when you sweating and things like that and the grease come in my face, it burnt my eyes type shit. Damn, why y'all booing like I'm saying bullshit? Like this is real facts. Come on, man. I just got my hair done 2 days ago.
Swing the women's guard.
I just got my hair done 2 days ago. Got my hair done. And she put grease in my shit. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. And she put grease in my shit. I just got my hair done. 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 Why y'all boys like I'm saying bullshit? This is real facts. This is real facts. Like I'm saying bullshit. This is real facts. It burnt my eyes. This is real facts. I just got my hair done 2 days ago. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done. I just got my hair done 2 days ago.